this right here is not what you want to happen during a fight. That's right, this is one of the Bad Azz, I'm going to say it funny just for YouTube, but this is one of the Bad Azz 2315s, 2300 kV motors. This is what we run in drum gun as a weapon motor, and we keep snapping these shafts. Now, some people will say, well, if you're running a tooth belt, run on the smooth side of the belt so you get a little bit of slip whenever the weapon hits, and it's not going to break your shaft. We tried that. We're still breaking shafts. So in this video today, we're not only going to be repairing this motor, we're going to be upgrading the shaft to titanium. So without any further delay, let's get right into it. Okay, before we get into it, I just want to take a quick note and talk about people who watch us on YouTube. With us being a smaller channel, it kind of surprises me when people come up and say, hey, we watch you on YouTube, or hey, I watched your video and it taught me how to do that. And that stuff's incredibly inspiring to us to keep making videos and to do more videos. And I received one of the best gifts that you could possibly ever receive from somebody who watches your channel, and that is fan art. And we received this at Makers Faire. Someone was very cool. I'm not going to call him out. He is a fellow competitor. He fights at Makers Faire every year. And he actually did something on both sides. He's got the dog eyes on the back. He's got the mouth on the front with the Team Junkyard dog. I thought this was incredibly cool, incredibly thoughtful. At the time that I received this, I was kind of surprised by it, and I don't think that I responded correctly. But I just want you to know that this means way more to me than you could ever imagine. Let's get into our video. All right, so here it is, our little Bad Azz motor. These things are extremely torquey. They like more power than the cheap ones, which is to be expected. This is a 2300 kV, and Carter absolutely loves this motor. As of right now, these are around $34 and some change, which to me, for the quality and the power that you get, this is well worth it. You know, you could get a similar size for $16 on Amazon. It's not going to have near the torque or near the power that this little motor right here has. If there's one thing that you don't want to really cheap out too much on, is your weapon motor. So let's go ahead. We're going to get this started. Since this is broke off, there's no kind of clips or anything holding it. And so we can just pull this apart just like this. Hopefully. There we go. Here you have all your windings and such, and then this is the side with the magnets. You can see inside this motor. Hopefully, anyways, the lighting isn't the best. There is epoxy and stuff in there. And the way that these are held into place, they use a thread locker, but also inside here, if you rotate this, there's actually right there a little set screw, and we got to take that set screw out. It is a 1.3, so we're going to crack that loose. Now the next step, hopefully we don't have to use the arbor press, but the next thing you want to, the secret is fire. If you ever have a hard time getting Loctite loose, fire is the key. But what you don't want to do when you're using fire is you do not want to heat these magnets up at all, or as little as possible, because if you do, when magnets get hot, they can lose their magnetism. And if you look in there too, we have some little spacers in there, some little bronze spacers. So we need to make sure that those get back in there as well. So I'm going to just start heating this shaft up, and I'm going to hold this part in my hand. That way I can feel how much heat is going into the can. So I don't want to bake the epoxy, and I definitely don't want to bake the magnets. All right, once you get it hot, you can put some pliers on there. I think the pliers are just slipping. We're going to need the press. All right, so we're going to heat this up some more. You do not want to get crazy on the press with this. I was trying to do this before, and I was trying not to heat it up at all and didn't use heat, and I actually collapsed the entire can and ruined the entire motor. So let's see if we got enough heat in there. Yes, it moved just as like a center punch. I have punches, but they won't work with this arbor press. There we go. We have success. All right, so we have our micrometer here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure this right here, and you can see that the shaft that came out is 3.94 on this measuring tool. I ordered some shafts once. I had some that I ordered that was 4 mil and it came in as 4.2 mil. So try to not get the absolute cheapest. You want to get one that is as dimensionally accurate as possible. Now we're going to measure the replacement material, and it is 3.9234. Depends on how much pressure I put on the wheel. So should be an absolute perfect match. So now we just need to cut this to length. All right, so this is the exact length that we need. I just measured our other shaft, and the other shaft is another replacement shaft, so this might not be the exact size that it came with, but this is the size that we're going to be using. Safety first, eye protection, ear protection, and here's our shaft material. There's our mark. Ouch, hot potato. Here is the old shaft. You can see it had a little notch in there. So I did a very poor job of recreating that with an angle grinder, but that's where the set screw bites in right there. So we have to be careful to line that up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have to put some Loctite on this. We have this Loctite 638 retaining compound. It's for smooth edges, for slip fit stuff. And here's the primer for it. And we're going to basically take this, and
it was at this moment that he knew he f***ed up.
All right, so minor setback. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but the shafts that I used, these are actually steel shafts. When I went to go put this in, I noticed that it stuck to the magnets, and I was like, hold up, wait a minute. That's not right. And I went digging. I grabbed the wrong bag. So here's the actual titanium shaft. This one, as you can see, does not stick. So I'm just going to repeat the process. I'm going to cut this, notch it, and then we'll pick up from there. I just wanted to point out my mistake in case somebody else caught it, to know that yes, I figured out it was steel and I did still put in titanium. So we got that worked out. Now we're just going to prime this piece. This is the actual titanium piece. I didn't follow the directions, or let me put it this way. I did not read the directions, but you know, we're going for it. Okay, that feels dry now. Now we're just going to put a little bit of this Loctite on here. Nice smooth even coat. Back over to the press. So I got my little spacer on there, and what I'm going to do is find my set screw, because I want to line it up with this notch. All right, so I know it's right there. I can see it in there. All right, now we're going to try to push that in there. All right, we just need to get it out a little bit further. Oh, oh, perfect. Right there, just how we want it. So we have it in there now. This will be the third, I think the third shaft. No, this is the second shaft for this motor. This was a factory shaft. I can tell by the notch, wherever it went. Yeah, this is the factory one. And this was the oops. But I'm going to throw this in our kit because it's nice to have one of these laying around in case you break one during a competition and you don't have a spare titanium one. Of course, you always want to try to have an extra weapon motor. You don't want to be relying on yourself to swap these things out, especially if you're in a final situation and your turnaround time is really low. So we're just going to tighten this set screw up. There you go. And that's done. So now all we have to do is we get our windings here. We'll put that through the bearing. Hopefully, there might be an edge on there that we have to file off. Yep, a little more filing. All right, let's see. It's sliding. It's sliding. If I can get it to come out the other side. Oh, and I pushed the bearing out. Yay for me. We have that in there. Never hit your bearings. This is when good things go bad. We'll use this pulley here. There we go. Crisis averted. And just like that, we are good to go. So I can put a little notch on here where we attach our weapon pulley. I think this is the weapon pulley we use for drum gun. We use this wide one. It's really made for a 3D printer, but it is a 3M pulley, 15 tooth. But there you go. Just like that. This motor is new and improved with a titanium shaft. Well, as you can see, that didn't quite go as planned, but with a little patience and a little bit of knowledge, it's ready to go. I don't have to spend another $35. I just spent, $10 on 4 shafts, and I was able to get this thing back up and running. So in essence, you think that this is a $35 motor, or you could just get one the same size for $16 on Amazon. If you break the shaft on that $16 motor, you're not going to be able to repair it, and it's a throwaway, and you spend another $16, you're 32 bucks in. I could just keep changing these shafts all day long until something actually happens to the windings or happens to the magnets. So I want to thank all of our subscribers who subscribe. I want to thank everybody who's been watching our videos recently. It really means a lot to actually finally see some views come in. It's really inspiring, and it really makes us feel good. We're that much closer for April 5th to go to NHRL. If you watch this channel and you see us there, come and say hi. We'd love to know who watches. And if you're not lucky enough to actually be able to go, then I suggest that you watch it on the stream. Until next time, we're Team Junkyard Dog, and we're out.